If you've ever been stuck trying to find out the right keywords for your self-published book, today's video is going to be a game changer for you. Hello home bosses, my name is Nuria Kobi from thehomeboss.com. Welcome to my channel, which is all about helping you to make money online from self-publishing. So whether you're working on a children's book or a low content book, this tool I'm about to show you will save you time and effort and honestly make your marketing strategy a lot easier. So we're talking about Publisher Rocket, and Publisher Rocket recently introduced an amazing new feature called the reverse ASIN Lookup. And what that means in simple terms is that you can now find out what keywords are driving success for other books in your niche and use that data to help boost your own book's visibility. So there's no more guessing or struggling to come up with keywords from scratch. It's kind of like getting a sneak peek into your competitors' books, and that is pretty cool, I think. And I know that many of you, whether you're publishing low content books or children's books or fiction books, whatever they are, you are all busy, whether it's a side hustle or you're juggling multiple projects. Keyword research is time consuming, and let's face it, it can be a bit of a guessing game. But imagine having a tool that does all the heavy lifting for you. You don't have to spend hours researching. You can see exactly what's already working for successful books similar to yours. So I'm just going to show you how this all works, and I really found this very, very useful. And the good thing about Publisher Rocket is if you have Publisher Rocket already, this new feature is actually already included for you. So all you have to do is load Publisher Rocket if you've already got it, give it a little bit of time to check that it's got new features and to get them to work. And then it's working, all ready for you to start looking up your keywords. And as I said, it's free for people who already have Publisher Rocket. And if you haven't got Publisher Rocket, it's a really useful research tool. It's one of my favorites because it's just very intuitive and you don't need to learn how to use it. It's just very simple to use, and you can easily do your research with this tool. So you can find keywords, you can do a category search, you can analyze your competitors, you can even find out the keywords for your Amazon ads. It's a really versatile tool, and I've promoted this in the past, and it's a tool that I use all the time and I find it really helpful. And of course now with this new update, it's even better. And I'll quickly show you how it works. So I'm on Amazon now, and I just want to quickly have a look at some books. And say you're researching books on Amazon for your own book. Say you're creating a coloring book, for example. Now this one looks like a coloring book. It's a spooky cutie coloring book for adults and teens. So I want to have a look at this one and see what the keywords are. So what I need to get now is either the ISBN or the ASIN number. So I'm scrolling down a little bit to find it. So let's have a quick look. It's ranking number 11 in books, so it's a top selling book, which is really great. It's number 1 in activity books. So we're really interested. If we're making coloring books and they are in this niche, it would be great to know what this book is ranking for. So let's get the ASIN number. That's the ASIN here. So I'm highlighting it, copy paste it, and I go to Publisher Rocket. So now I've got Publisher Rocket here, and I want to use the reverse ASIN lookup, and I enter the ISBN or the ASIN here. In this example, it's the ASIN, and we click on Go Get 'em Rocket. And now we wait a little bit. It's fetching all the keywords that this book is ranking for. So we can see it's already found the book, and now we can see the keywords that this has been ranking for, and it includes Spooky Cutie. So that is the title of the book. It's ranking for the title, it's ranking for the pen name, and it's ranking for Spooky Cutie coloring book. So we want to find out more information now and see what these keywords are like. And on the right hand side you can dive deeper into the analytics of this. So I'm not going to click on the keywords for the title because that is not really that interesting. Our book will have a different title, but we want to find something a bit more general. For example, kawaii, spooky and cutie coloring book. So if you're making a Halloween kawaii coloring book, this would be interesting for you. So you can click on that and look at this. You can see these are, if we scroll up here, you can see these are the average sales. And what that tells you is the estimated average monthly earnings of the top books that rank for this keyword. So all the books that are ranking for this keyword here are selling $43,000 worth of books. So that's pretty good. And this is the search per month. And that tells you the estimated number of people who typed in that phrase into Amazon per month. So this is in green as well, because this is good. Everything that's in green is a good result. So 640 people thereabouts are searching this every month, and that is a good number. And then this is the competition score, and that tells you how hard it would be to rank your book for that keyword, with 0 being easiest and 100 being hardest. So the lower this number, the better. And it's still green, so it has a competition score of 40, so that means that it's still not very competitive. It says here low competition, so this is a great keyword if you're making a Halloween coloring book with a kawaii style. So check that it's in your niche. Don't use keywords that are not applicable to your own books, but this is how you would do your research. So this one here includes the title for this book, so that's not really good for us. So we want something generic that applies to our book. So if I'm making a Halloween coloring book, as it's Halloween, they would all be spooky, but they're not all cutie. They might be some different style. So let's see what else they've got. So spooky cutie is ranking quite a lot. It's obviously something people are looking for. Spooky creepy cutie is another keyword. Let's try, they're all spooky cutie. So if our coloring book is not cutie, it wouldn't really work for us. So I'm looking for something that hasn't got the word cutie in it, and there's not many. So this seems to be something that is popular. Spooky theme, here we are. Let's try this one. So a spooky theme coloring book, that keyword generates $20,000 a month. That's not bad. And this is the number of searches every month. So 11,000, over 11,000 searches every month for spooky theme. That's pretty good. And the competition score is quite low. So again, this is a great keyword, spooky theme for a Halloween coloring book. And spooky could be another one that's more general. So you can see how this one is very different because that's very competitive. So spooky on its own is a very competitive keyword. So that wouldn't help us so much. What about spooky fun books? Now this is very good again. So it generates less money than those per month, but it's still a really good amount. It has an enormous amount of searches. That's really good. And the competition is low, so that's great. This is another good coloring book search term if you want to use these keywords. So let's see if there's anything very unusual or out of the ordinary. So kawaii and spooky and cutie seems to be a good keyword. So you can see how many pages there are. So it will take me a while to have a look at all of these, but the other thing that's really helpful is it says here, see other keywords that may be good for this book. So we can click on that as well. And now it has added other keywords that are maybe not ranking for this book, but other books are ranking for it. So we can have a look at them and see if we can apply them to our book as well. Because there might be some keywords here that haven't come up for this other book, that are not ranking for this other book, but that could still be very useful for us. So you can really go in depth with your keywords, and this is just an example for one book. I'll give you another example for another type of book. The other thing I wanted to tell you is, because this software requires a lot of resources, they only let you do 50 monthly searches, 50 lookups. So I have 45 lookups remaining for this month. So it's not every time you click on one of these things, but it's every time you do a search. So 50 is pretty generous. I think I can absolutely do all my research with 50 lookups. And the reason for that is because a lot of publishing companies and a lot of big publishers, they use this tool and they would be using it so much it would be absolutely impossible to keep it at this price. And don't forget, Publisher Rocket is a one-time payment and you've got it forever. So this is why they have to limit it, but 50 lookups is plenty of lookups for the month. So that is quite good. And it also tells you every time. And then for the following month, it just goes back to 50 and you've got another 50 to use. So let's try another book and see how this would work. Let's go back to our Amazon search. So we got some good information for this book. Let's try a different kind of book. Maybe this, I know this is a very good book to research against because that's always been one of the top sellers for quite a few years now. Let's have a quick look at that. So it's my first Learn to Write workbook, and I love these kind of educational books because they sell really well. These are the type of books that I think people should be producing because they are still low content books, but they do have content. They're not just notebooks, they're not just logbooks. They require a little bit more work, but there are tools that you can use to create these type of books. And now we just want to research it a little bit. So I just want to have a look into the keywords that this book would rank for. Let's have a look at the ASIN. And it's not independently published, but I know that in the past I think it was. And it's number 13 in books. So again, anything that's under 100 is absolutely amazing. That would be a really good book to have. It's number 1 in children's handwriting books, and I think it's been number 1 for quite a long time. I always see this book when I do research for my educational niches. So I'm going to get the ISBN here. And let's go back to Publisher Rocket. And we click on New Search, and then we enter the ISBN and click on Go Get 'em Rocket. So we just have to wait a little bit. Obviously, if it's an older book, which this one is, and it's made a lot of sales, there's a lot of information that Publisher Rocket has to go through. So this is why it's probably taking a little bit longer. And here we are. So let's have a look at the keywords that this book is ranking for. So my first Learn to Write workbook is the title. So imagine that you're researching this book because you want to create a Learn to Write workbook or a practice writing workbook for kids. So this is why you would be researching this book. So you don't really want to use the title of this book for your keywords. You want to create your own keywords or keywords that are applicable to your own book. So let's have a look. So kids workbook activity workbook. That could be interesting for us. So I'm going to click on that, and it tells us that the average sales for books that are ranking with this keyword is $9,000 per month. And the search volume is about 2,966 searches per month, which is good as well. That's why it's green. But the competitive score is in yellow, and that means there is moderate competition. Now, I always say competition shouldn't worry you, because if you can make a book that's better than this one, then you could absolutely try this keyword. But let's see if there's something better. So there's a Trace Letter Pencil Control Practice Workbook for kids age 3 to 5. Now, this is very specific. Let's see what that says. It seems to be good because it makes over $12,000 a month for the books that are ranking for this. It has a good number of searches, and competition is moderate. It's not brilliant, but it's a pretty good keyword. ABC letter tracing practice workbooks. Now this sounds really good because it reads well, and it's something that you could maybe use as a subtitle. So let's have a look. And again, this is looking promising. I would like this competitive score to be lower. So I'm still looking for other keywords that could be lower. So let's try this one. And I'm just going to try a few and see if I can find one with a lower competitive score. Here's one. Engaging alphabet workbook for preschoolers. Now, I would never have guessed this keyword because I wouldn't have thought people type this in, but apparently they do. There's over 2,600 searches per month, and it makes $17,000 per month, and competition is low. So this looks to me like a great keyword for this type of book. So I can already see that there are a lot of keywords that I wouldn't have necessarily thought of, and I can find them here on Publisher Rocket. And if that isn't enough, I can scroll all the way down and see other keywords that may be good for this book. But as I said, the reverse ASIN lookup is about keywords that this book is actually ranking for. So that's why that is so valuable, because you wouldn't know that any other way. So that's why I like this software so much, especially now that it's got the reverse ASIN lookup. And we might as well have a look at another book, maybe something that is low content or really low content. Let's have a look if we can find something. Let's see if there's a low content book amongst all these bestsellers. I think I'm just going to type in logbook, just as, for an idea. And actually I would like it to be independently published. Let's see if there's a book that does well. There's a diabetes logbook, so let's have a look at this. It's a nice looking book. They've got A+ content, and it's independently published, and it's ranking 192,180 in books, which isn't brilliant. But like I said, if you've got a few books like that and they sell now and again, you can still make good earnings with this. But like I said, I mean, logbooks, notebooks, those type of books are getting more and more difficult to sell because there are just so many of them. And the other problem is that people create logbooks and that type of book, and they're not really making anything different. I mean, a logbook is a logbook. There's thousands of them, and this one has a really pretty cover, and there's nothing wrong with this, and it has a fair number of reviews as well, but it is getting very competitive to sell these type of books. So I would probably advise you make different type of books. Logbooks are great if you're a beginner and you're practicing to upload your books and to create your books. They're great for that. But if you're expecting a lot of sales, I have to say that's very difficult with a logbook these days. But even so, let's have a look at this and let's see what we can find out in terms of keywords. So let me just get this ISBN, and I'm going to create a new search and paste the ISBN. And as you can see up here, it says you have 43 lookups. So every time I look something up, it deducts one of the lookups, but I've still got plenty left. So let's have a look. Diabetes logbook. Now, that's the title of this book, but if we are creating a diabetes logbook, it may be that we are going to use that in our subtitle because that's what this book is. So I will click on that and find out if we can use this. So the average sales is low. And like I said, I mean, these books are difficult to sell now. So it's not great, but you can still make some sales. And only 747 people are searching this per month, so it's not too bad. It's still in the yellow, and the competition is moderate. So there's still a chance that you could create a diabetes logbook and rank for this keyword, but just don't expect it to be a bestseller or a book that makes you a lot of money, because it isn't that easy to sell these type of books now. But let's have a look. Logbook diabetes is another good keyword for this, and again it's like in the yellows. There's one that's green, so that's not too bad. So if you use the keywords diabetes journal logbook, they're not selling a great number of books every month, but some of them they're selling. And there are quite a few number of searches for this, and competition is not too bad. So this keyword is pretty good for this type of book. There's another one, but there the competition is a little bit higher. We want this number to be as high as possible, this number to be as high as possible, and this one as low as possible. That's what we're looking for. This one is a little bit more niched down because it's logbook for women. So not many people are searching for this one. So I wouldn't consider this. We can't create spiral bound books, so this is not a good keyword for us. Let's have a look at this next one. So there isn't much of a demand for this keyword. This one's not too bad, logbook for diabetes. Don't forget you can make logbooks for all different kinds of things. So I would say that the logbook market for diabetes is probably quite competitive. But if you can make a book that's better than your competition, then absolutely go for it. It's just more difficult. I find logbooks, the type of books that are easy to make, are just much more competitive because there are so many out there. So the easier a book is to make, the more competition you're going to have. And that's why I think it's worth making books that are a little bit more difficult to make, because then you'll have less competition. So just play about with this and click on as many as possible to get a good idea for the keywords that are good for your type of book. So like I said, you're looking for keywords that are high in demand, high in sales, and low in competition. And this Publisher Rocket update is absolutely fantastic for that, because you can find the appropriate keywords really easily now, and you can really research your competition. So you can see how powerful this is. It's not just about finding random keywords. You're getting real data on what's already working for successful books. Whether it's in the children's book market or low content publishing, it doesn't matter. You can research any type of book, and you can take those exact keywords, test them out, and use them in your Amazon ads or in the 7 KDP keyword slots. So if keyword research has been something you've dreaded, and I'm the first one to admit that that is the one thing that I like the least sometimes, although sometimes I find it really interesting because I get to know ideas for other types of books. See, this is the problem with keyword research. I'm researching the keywords for a book that I'm trying to make, and then I'm getting so many ideas for different books that I get sidetracked. So this is a really good tool to keep you focused on what you're doing. So if you're not sure where to start, Publisher Rocket's reverse ASIN Lookup is going to make your life so much easier. That is whether you're publishing a journal, a children's book, or even fiction or non-fiction, and this tool will help you take the guesswork out of it. And the best part, you're learning from the books that are already succeeding. So don't let keyword research hold you back. Start using this tool and you'll be able to market your books smarter, not harder. And if you've already got Publisher Rocket, that is a huge win for you now, because this is already included for people who already have Publisher Rocket. And this is what I keep saying, that if you have this tool, whenever they have an update or they add anything, people who already have this tool, they get included into those updates. So thank you so much for watching. And as always, keep pushing forward with your publishing journey. I'm here to help you with this. And if you've got any questions, leave them below in the comments, or join my Facebook group, the Homeboss group, and you can ask your questions there, and everybody there is really helpful and we're all helping each other. So if you want to learn more about tools like this, make sure to subscribe and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.